last time in Silence Shine, the group decided to go investigate the quote-unquote meteor. But before that, the already hired group were, well, assigned to investigate themselves also, while Mildred did, but since he was part of it and all that stuff. So they went and they saw that the meteor wasn't a meteor, but a person. Nah, in a large crater. He was surrounded by gold dust and golden flames all over the place. The flames didn't hurt anything for some reason, but they were of divinity in origin. But besides all that, they dragged him back to the library for some reason. And while they were doing all that, they were diagnosing him, the man that was in the crater. Then later brought the doctor to check up on him. His physique was different from everyone else's, being more dense. His blood being liquid gold that came out in chunks and all that. And no heartbeat, but signs of breathing. So they tended to him, and whilst that was going on, Antonio decided to speak more in the group about the assignment and asked for requests of the group of what they want to research specifically while waiting in town and city. And then eventually with Shannon eventually managing to get the man up. Lurian wakes up, had a weird dream like state where he was drowning, but turns out he was just wet. He wakes up, started insulting everyone and called Aaron as a pet, and then treated Eve most respectful. But then, after all that introduction, the general came in angry that his guards weren't the first ones to bring in the new visitor. But everyone came in defense, explaining the situation, and the general seemed to have let it slide for now, but has his eye on Lurian while only leaving after getting a vial of his blood. Shortly after that, 3 people go into the tavern. They chilled. Met a funny frog man there.
We'll pick up close to where we left off, with the sound of a bottle being tapped on the table and Lord Tyrannus Rex leaving to seek more refreshments. It seems something has caught his eye, however, as he quickly leaves the tavern. Eduardo looks down at his current company. Hey, now that we are friends, perhaps you could tell me a little bit about them. Food.
Oh, food?
Yes. One of you has leaves in your head, like a bulb of an onion, and the other has horns. You are not from here, I assume.
Give a passing glance to Marcus and remember the last time she asked about his hair and not inquire about that. No, I'm from Aeroclast.
Gold.
He'll just kind of shrug. Good. Were you saying something?
Mm.
Oh, okay. He'll just kind of shrug. I'm from Barracast.
Oh, the city of stone. They serve many delicious large isopods. It has been many moons since I had the privilege of feasting from there, at least.
Delicious is definitely a word.
The farmers are a curious sort.
And where are you from, Eduardo? You seem well traveled.
To the east, in some senses. To the south, in others. It is my family's temperance, you could call it, to travel. For food, it gets quite boring if you stay in one place for too long. But the city of Okran served me well for its time. And its pits were not just good for fighting. A slain foe could be a feast. And I ventured this way to find other like-minded individuals, I suppose. And the Mava here, well, they know how to eat.
Well, I'm glad to have met you, Eduardo. And drink. What did you call this again? To.
The Mamba does not agree with many. Its fangs are... Well, you know. You do not have to drink it all. You could leave it with me. He squints. There's a gleam in his eyes where he just wants everything that you have. But he's starting with the alcohol as you sort of cough and splutter.
You know what? As a token of our growing friendship and my eyes watering, you can hear a gift from me.
You are generous, and I have a gift for thee. He will sort of burp, and a rack of ribs cleaned of meat lands on the table in front of you as his tongue darts out and grabs the neck of the bottle and pulls it all inside his gullet. Very clean.
What?
Not a drop of marrow. You could make it a pendant, perhaps. An adornment for your horns.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that would look lovely.
The onion.
Thank you for this fine gift. I will collect the freshly regurgitated bones and with the tips of my fingers, of my index and thumb, place them in a napkin and in my lap for now. They're not going in my bag.
They are pristine white.
You are well traveled here, at least. You've been here for some time, Eduardo?
A couple of weeks. Enough time to sample many things.
Could you tell us anything about the area? We are new here for work, and we'll have to go out into the area for some surveying soon, and I'm not as seasoned as you are. As she's talking, she's staring at him. Is he still eating food?
Every now and then, yeah, he'll like rip off a piece of bread and like throw it in his mouth. There's not much chewing going on. He is just swallowing placing food within his gullet where it disappears. The bottle hasn't returned. It is still somewhere inside of him.
Waiting on the
Oh
bottle.
god.
All right. Yep. Making a note of that.
Many curious people. The city is Mava run, yes, but they have a penchant for allowing the unique and curious. If you are magically inclined, indebting yourself to Serena might be a good idea. An Asha woman, shiny eyes, and a difficult humor. He smiles.
Oh, and Serena is who to these people? We've had the pleasure of meeting the general, and he was welcoming.
Senor Eldramon is a potent military force, but not a great conversationalist. I think the metals in the helmet have stopped him from eating for some time. Understandable to be cranky under the circumstances. But Serena is a wandering sea elf far from home. She buys and procures magical goods, and has earned her place here not because she is particularly useful, but because she is incredibly wealthy. Gold says many things in this city.
Oh, where would I find her? I have to speak with grandmother Own, I believe it was. I have to speak with her first, but perhaps I will stop by Serena and speak with her.
Well, she is often within the markets, and if not, she is renting a lodging near the Great Serpent statue in the southwest of the city. And perhaps you could find her in either locale.
Well, thank you. And should I wish to speak with you again, where might I find you other than this fine establishment eating a feast?
Mostly here. I wander the market for the stalls of fine meats they prepare, but I am here exclusively for research, as you had inferred that you were similarly. Only I survey only the finest of cuisines. He'll burp, and there's just the hot breath of the alcohol you had been drinking that kind of wafts over the table. Oh, excuse me.
He'll turn his head a little bit. It's fine.
do your leaves wrinkle?
The edge of his
Well,
leaf
probably.
shrinks slightly.
His hair wilts.
Starts to wilt.
Starts to wilt a little bit. Pulls up his hood, covers his mouth. It's fine.
Well then, I would hate to call our meeting short, but there seems to be a lot of people that I should speak with. Edgardo, if we happen to cross paths again, I would love to share a meal with you and perhaps a less bitey drink.
I look forward to seeing what you do with the horns.
Yes. Adornments. She kind of like holds up the napkin wrapped bones. I will do some research and should we meet again, show you what I have made.
He nods sagely, and then continues eating.
Sweet Jesus. The mama bites.
Who is this Jesus, and can he cook?
Oh god. On to the counter. God damn it, that goes on to the counter.
Yep, that's another one.
I don't know, it's some weird name that popped into my head for some reason. Noticing the lack thereof, a small Tyrannus man. Marcus, did you see where Lord Tyrannus went?
No, somewhere over there, and he'll kind of point to this direction.
Wonderful. somewhere over there.
There's
Well,
there's no telling with him.
I'm going to go wander, I guess, until it's time to speak with people. You are welcome to join me or spend your time in company of Eduardo.
He'll look at Eduardo. He'll look at you. He'll just kind of nod at Eduardo. Hope to see you again. And slowly.
He blinks one eye at a time and continues eating.
Wonderful.
Roll me a perception check as you move past this woman.
Skirt.
Both of us are.
Mostly Kasim.
Okay.
So, when you first entered and spotted this woman, you thought there was perhaps some kind of kindred lineage. The horns that sprout from your head, a vestige of fiendish influence that hasn't quite filtered out of your bloodline yet. So this woman perhaps had a similar environment. Except as you move past her, you realize quickly that the horns are not adhered to her head and she wears a veil. Through the sheer material of the veil, you can catch glimpses of the trademark Edelmava feline teeth, and you realize that the horns are an adornment, presumably got from a foe, knowing their culture. The lady does not acknowledge you in any capacity and continues drinking what seems to be a black stained glass bottle that has a rather pungent smell to it.
Making note, not going to speak with the lady that has somebody on her forehead, but note made.
Cool.
Is Dante still here?
Yeah, Dante is counting out the copious amounts of coin that he has gained from 3 people buying alcohol that is too rich for their blood.
Excuse me, Dante.
Oh, hello. The man will turn his mustache, almost moving with the momentum and sort of flapping a little awkwardly.
Perhaps, since we will be in town for a bit, you recommend me a lighter alcohol next time? That was interesting.
You asked for something to fuck with your memory. I promised.
You know what? You're right. That was on me. Thank you. We will be heading out. Please keep us informed if you see Lord Tyrannus. He is wandering around somewhere.
Yeah, he started saying that he wanted to rub the genie's lamp. I'm not really sure what he's on about, but...
Oh my.
There's
Okay.
really no telling with that, man.
Thank you.
Is it,
Have
is
a,
it possible
fine
to
after-
climb on the roof, Dante?
Probably. It's probably not a good idea.
No, I'm not. Just okay.
All right. Well, we will see you another time.
Bye.
Oh, hey, look, what are all you guys doing up here? No, I'm
Just
good.
give him a.
I know you're not
a
here.
nod.
Cool.
All right.
So you guys move away. It is late at night currently. Not late at night, but it is late in the evening. Where do you want to go?
Since we're talking with people tomorrow, I'm just gonna wander around. I'm not really doing anything.
The two of you exit from the spout of the genie's lamp. The city is somewhat dulled in this later hour. There are an odd assortment of guards on corners, but not many people walking the streets. The city is cool at this hour, a wind picking up and rustling the many druidically grown leaves and foliage that keep some semblance of natural life here in the city. Where would you like to go?
Now that I think about it, I really didn't get a chance to check out that crater that what was Lucian fell into. I'm probably gonna go take a walk over there.
Are we allowed to do that? The guard seemed pretty serious when we were leaving.
I mean, probably to keep others out. We are hired to investigate it. Just because we went once shouldn't mean we can go again.
You got a point. I'll just kind of shrug.
I'm just gonna go check in with Leith real quick, and then we can be off.
Leith, is that the robot you were with?
Warforged is the correct term.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, it's fine. So, are you going to tell me why your head leaves, or is that a rude question to ask?
You gonna tell me why you have horns, or is that a weird question to ask?
No. But I asked you first, so.
I was born this way.
Same.
Alrighty then.
You're not very talkative, are you?
Sometimes.
You make your way up towards the Library of Sand. There is still a guard captain stationed outside, their golden mask revealing nothing except for the dull reflection of their eyes as they appraise you. Not dissimilar to how you saw Eduardo appraise a fine hunk of meat. The captain does not speak, however, simply acknowledges your presence.
Yeah.
Lots of guards out today, huh?
I mean, the sky did just fall.
It's true.
Do you think we still need to knock?
Mate, I don't know.
Just in case, I will knock once.
You knock with the large brass knocker. There's a short pause where the echo reverberates. The door opens to a silver-haired elven man. Excuse me, at this late hour we are Oh. It's you.
Hello, Nicholas. How are you how are you doing this fine night?
His nose crinkles as the after scent of the harsh liquor you were drinking reaches him. His ears twitch slightly. I was getting ready to trance and rest. Do come in. This is your workplace for the time being.
For future reference, Nicholas, do we need to knock every time we come?
No, but if you walk through the halls unannounced, you may find yourself in peril.
Oh. The knocking it is, okay.
Sounds good.
As you walk past him through the open doorway, he disappears from view.
Why does he do that?
Is he gonna do that every time?
And he did it the last time I was in here.
He's gonna shudder.
Let me fucking hide this. It's like a bunch of tokens. Leith wanted to look into Antonio's rituals, so we'll cut to that in a moment. Lurian, Shannon, Velder, you guys can be wherever for the moment. Whatever.
Figured I'd just go over there and join them and at least look at what they're doing if I can't help.
Yeah, sounds good. Right. Meanwhile, as Kasim and Mercus make their way back into the place they were just in, after being offered rooms, Leith and Archivist Antonio Mer stand in the northern section of the Library of Sand. The Archivist displaying to Leith pieces of the ritual circle he has constructed. So, as you might know in your tenure, spellcraft is a delicate work, and we are doing our best to not lose it. The library has some wonderful faculties, but the highlights that you may not have seen are these. He will gesture to north, south, east, and west of the ritual circle that have carved totems placed in it. These items hold the ritual, if that makes sense. They're not components to be consumed, they are to give us adequate time to conduct it. A spell of this caliber, of the 4th tier, costs quite an amount, but also takes time. By the time this is concluded, it will be 32 hours of work. It is a large undertaking, but I hope it will help garner the information that I need to be able to give you before you start your expedition proper.
Yes, so instead of continuously casting such powerful magic, you do it over time.
He nods excitedly.
Just the setup of the circle, and everything, like, does it resemble what would be, would have been used in, my brain place, I'm forgetting a location.
Joslin, Vernon.
No. At the other, at the younger world play, I'm fucking forgetting the place name.
Hold. It's Cronach or Crumbaha. I'm double checking my own fucking notes, because when I gave you it's Cronach. Because when I gave you guys the research, I fucking put the wrong one. Regardless. Yes. It seems that at least the arrangement of incense and material components, you see sort of gold, thin gold plates with sigil recurved, and small candles made of a sort of dull green wax. It does resemble the casting capabilities of that city. This seems to be an attempt at using outside faculties to grant access to further casting. You suspect that it's been some time since you've been there, that this is sort of the edge of their technology as it is for the moment. There is no one capable of casting such a spell not even instantaneously, but within a short span. But these totems, whatever they are carved from, seem to substitute that ability, at least for shorter periods of time.
That certainly is new. They were working on something similar in Karnak, but I believe I have lost quite a long time to the ice.
Yes, the totems are carved from fallen branches of the great tree itself. The capability to insulate the energy of the ritual is staggering, but also it's becoming the new norm, as it were. It is a happy accident that we have managed to see such a thing become viable. These are the only ones I have for the moment. In theory, if you had an array of them, you could conduct several rituals at once. But that is not renewable. At least not yet. We have hope.
I am sure there are other materials out there in the world to replicate such effects. If I come across any such materials, I will note them and tell you.
Oh,
Perhaps it will help you in such endeavors.
that would be fantastic. That yes, please. You will be compensated, of course. I do not expect anyone to work for free, but it is. It getting to be outside of the city and in some place new and show these things and use them it drives me. It is exciting.
Yes. It is interesting to see the development of these things after 200 years, I think it was.
Oh my. Yes, they are. Yes, 200 years is quite some time. I am always surprised when I meet one of you. It is not a common occurrence, but your tenure is admirable.
My tenure in the world at large was only 50 after the age, but I happened to fall into a predicament, so I haven't seen much of the world in the last 200 years.
Oh. He sort of seems a little taken aback, unsure of what to say.
However, I am traveling again, so it is pleasant to see the progress that has been made, despite everything.
He will nod. Lurian, as you were sort of observing this conversation and the ritual, feeling the. It's a colder sensation, but not untoward. It is chill and contained that emanates from the ritual itself. But I would like you to roll me a. Let's call it a charisma check.
Okay. Oh.
On a 22, the development of technology, as they're describing it, is a curiosity, but something sparks in your mind of cost. And it seems that this wood or this tree is a finite resource, and this ritual is beyond them. That's strange. And you start to do calculations in your mind. And though you are not in touch with the markets of this plane, your estimations would tell you that this ritual circle, including the totems, would total at just under 5,000 gold pieces. It is a large amount of wealth that is present, and it is being put towards a honorable cause, at least on your instinctual affect of its use.
So I can tell that it is 5,000 gold pieces for this realm or for
For this realm.
Okay.
Your short amount of time here has garnered small discussions over like rooms in a tavern and boarding costs and food. So you're extrapolating based on the information of spells of a caliber being usually inaccessible, and even though it is inefficient, the capability to do so. So you're doing a lot of guesstimating, but you have an instinct about this that you feel is you're close to the mark, if not within like a 200 gold range.
Archivist, I must ask, what do you plan on doing with this circle?
Oh, those that found you, within your craterous bed, um, I am hiring some of them at least to do some delving in a ruin, you could call it. A fragment of the past that is now finally bearing its arms to us, so we may embrace it. This ritual is a divining ritual to learn information before they are sent off. It is research in some capacity, but the kind you can't find in books.
I see. And these totems, they're used up after this, or how many uses do they get?
Direct amount of uses is unknown. The tier of the spell certainly has an effect on them, but I imagine they will do for a couple more castings before needing some renewal or replacement. They are delicate and difficult to get.
And renewal, it seems like that's not a simple thing to try to restore them.
Not as far out as here. Back home, with the great tree that is being cultivated, that these are offcuts of, you could. What's the correct term? There's a gardening term where you would take the stem of one plant and bind it to a branch of another, and it would allow the stem to regrow and siphon energy from the root plant. There's a similar process with these totems, that if they are adhered to a strong source of life, that they may be renewed. It is unlikely, however, this far out that is very viable, but I have hopes to make an exchange with my order back home, that perhaps once these are near the end of their life cycle, that I may send them back and retrieve new ones. But that is
Well,
a small ways off.
pardon my lack of information, but why not just grow a world tree over here?
Oh, there is one. It's just dying. The process of growing such a staple of the land is lost on us, unfortunately. The one here in the desert that, while you were unconscious when you were brought here, you will notice it upon the horizon. It is presumed to be the first. It is quite large and is dying. There is one further to the west that we and my order are cultivating. It is presumed that before the age that it was seeded there with the intent of it being a replacement. We are unsure of the possibilities of cultivating a true world tree again. There are attempts in smaller capacities. They do not yield the same result.
I would presume it requires certain conditions to be met, and we do not know of what those might be.
Antonio nods. There's theorizing around it, of course. The idea that there is a well of Pandoran energy, much like a water layer beneath the surface of the land, that the roots are uniquely adapted to pierce, and that is what gives them their bounty. But such things have not been truly uncovered. The underground is a dangerous place at the best of times, and to run on a theory of presumption is not exactly profitable, at least for now. Leave it to the dwarves to excavate their city, and perhaps a joint venture will prove fruitful. But for now, this is what we have access to.
Lorian will kind of get a little bit sidetracked and uh, move a little closer and ask the archivist, "How close can I get and to study these things without disturbing the circle?"
I would prefer right about where you are standing. As you can see, there is small waves of energy, and if you do not intend to interface with them, it is better not to disturb.
I see. Then I will stay here, and I kind of want to look at the runes and kind of the magic going on and compare it to what systems I would know.
Sure. Roll me an Arcana check.
Mm.
It is odd, but not unfamiliar. Your instinctual base upon many things magical is rooted that there must be an exchange. That tracks with the ritual in front of you. There are plates of gold with carvings on them, their incense, and the candles that are being consumed by the ritual. They're, at a guess, somewhat expensive. But the familiarity that you find is that the language that composes the spell, the glyphs and sigils that are laid in this intricate pattern, reads much like a contract would. There is an offer, a request, and a conclusion that is not yet filled in. And that structure, at least as far as Antonio's casting, is not dissimilar to your understanding of how anything supernatural works. You understand, even as you were having that nightmare of drowning, you offered gold as raw material components, and the gold was expended and the water was dispelled. The language that is being used is different, but the method in the way it is being applied is familiar.
And from this, would I be able to read the contract for what this specific spell entails? Or I wouldn't know that without him telling me.
You wouldn't be able to decipher the pieces on a 10.
Ah, okay. I think that'll be it from Lorian for now. I think he'll just kind of go in somewhat of a trance of comparing.
Yeah, you're like somebody doing an early morning crossword. You're taking pieces of recognition and trying to slot them into a comparable structure. Antonio leaves you to your study and sort of nods. Leith, do you have any further questions before Marcus and Kasim arrive?
Leith is. Leith doesn't have any questions to speak of. They will take out a notebook and record down what properties they've been told about the totems, write a little bit of the ritual being performed. They will scribble it down before they will continue watching.
No problem. It is in the silence of three rather academic individuals studying a marvel ahead of them. Antonio smiling like a proud parent over the carefully prepared ritual. That soft footfalls echo from behind you. Kasim and Marcus make their way into the Library of Sand. it is quiet as it usually is. The dull blue light to the north pulses and illuminates the silhouettes of those you have come to know.
Oh, yes, that's what I was doing. Leith, are you busy?
I am currently watching this ritual take place. What is it, cousin?
Nothing. I might be slightly poisoned, but that's not a thing. That's not an issue. Um,
Why have you poisoned? Why have you become poisoned?
it's the mamba. The mamba bites. And Guardo, and we'll talk about it later.
So the condition is self-inflicted.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't pay for it. Yes.
Halsey Marcus nodding yes.
People pay to be poisoned.
Okay. Besides, we're going off track.
Yes,
I
what
wanted
is
to
it?
go. I wanted to go back to the hole that one fell out of, and she'll point to Lorraine. I was just letting you know where I was going.
Understood. Please do not get poisoned any further.
Thumbs up. Will do. Archivist, is it fine that we go back over there? I'm just curious about a couple things.
I'm inclined to say yes, but your condition has me somewhat unsure. And what is it you wish to inquire on?
Just like if it's still on fire, and Leith got to check some things out, but I also would like to. And there are some things scratching the back of my mind about potentials. And I wanted to have a little bit more information before going to speak with grandmother tomorrow.
Well, as long as you don't disturb what is there, I would imagine the general has stationed guards, and he does not seem best pleased. You will have to schmooze your way to actual access. If you are open for that, sure.
Can't we just say we need to make some more notes for you?
He was actually, he seemed a little peeved.
Yes.
Is that the word?
I did not
Yes.
inform him immediately of Lurian's condition or that he was being treated, so I think I would rather you not keep my name involved. It can be an independent investigation, and
Got it.
just understand that if you are barred access, it is the humors of the general.
Yes, the worst they can say is no. And probably will retire for the night. But alright.
Sounds good.
Side eyes. I'm gonna go skip off in Shannon's direction.
Sure.
Because all the men here are dicks.
We'll follow you for a second. Shannon is sat with notebooks ahead of her. She is scratching in that same Edelmava script, but her focus seems a lot less intense than it has been in the past few encounters you've had with her.
Well, just gonna sit right here for a second. Shannon, I wanted to let you know that you lost track of what I was going to say in real time. Actually drunk in real life. Just like stare forward for a moment. You did a very good job on Lurian, despite him being ungrateful for your efforts at the start. And I wanted to tell you that.
I appreciate the compliment.
No problem.
Excuse me for asking, Kasim, how old are you?
Counting on fingers. 25. Sounds about right. Yep.
Then a perhaps small reminder. Complimenting friends is one thing, but I do not quite think we are there yet. And complimenting elders is strange. I appreciate your interest, but I am your elder. This rather slight woman is speaking to you. The elven features, ageless. The teeth still held behind the scarf as you sort of sat down. She adjusted it a little bit. But the crushing reality of her maybe being 4 times your age is present in her eyes.
God damn.
Oh. Noted. Is it rude to say you age beautifully? Oh wait, yes, compliments. Well then,
That one is less. I eat
Our
a lot.
lifespans are different.
Veldra, I mean, he is closer to the age you would be intimidated by complimenting. She will gesture over her shoulder. But, no, Kasim, what you need to learn very quickly in this city is if you compliment people like that, you are going to get eaten or you are going to get eaten. Whichever one of those sparks your interest, please go ahead. But the Mava do not deal in compliments very often. At least not those of a mundane manner.
noted. Anything else I shouldn't do when speaking to people? I have a lot of people to speak to tomorrow and don't want to insult them or be eaten in any fashion. Remembering the woman wearing tiefling horns.
Just understand that being blunt is not being rude, and being friendly is often interpreted as suspicious behavior. If you are interacting with the others, the high elves and sea and various humani populace, you can act as you presume, but for the Mava, do not patronize. It's not a good look.
Yeah, that's making a lot of sense. Staring straight at Veldra.
What?
Well then. Thank you for your insight, Shannon. I will take it to heart, and I apologize.
She shudders
Wonderful.
uncomfortably.
Oh, listen, it's gonna take a second. I'm sorry. I want to ask how old she is, but I think I've done enough for one night.
I think that's enough. Yeah. Marcus is gonna shake his head like I don't think this is the time for that.
I keep like looking back at her like
He'll whisper, maybe we can ask the other elf that later on.
Where are y'all heading off now?
You
We're
were
just-
asked the question.
I'm ignoring the question. You were walking.
He's gonna glance between out, you know.
You get a very crinkle faced me as you ask that, and I continue walking. You were an ass to me earlier.
There's the scent of alcohol as the woman walks by, and Shannon is giggling to herself. Whatever the exchange, it has humored her in some capacity. Alright. As you guys leave, we're gonna cut over to figure out Tyrannus Rex's bizarre adventure. Lord Tyrannus Rex, the sun is dipping in the sky, and the regular people-sized booze has hit your system with a spark of inspiration, you begin to waddle out of the genie's lamp. Where would you like to go in this moment? What do you think would override the amusement of conversation with a frogman in Tyrannus's mind at the moment?
Probably. I mean, he saw the ziggurat earlier, so now the other big crazy looking thing would be this trying to see what this thing in the water is to the left.
Ah, very good.
Overgrown structure.
Yep.
So he's gonna head over to the lake or pond.
You head westward
Whatever.
towards a small water feature. Seems to have been at least part of the founding inspiration behind the city of O-Shash. The water is clear. It seems well maintained, and whatever druidry is used keeps it so. The structure on the western end is large. It dwarfs even the genie's lantern or lamp, and seems to be of a stone and construction that is more reminiscent of Goliath architecture, which you have seen smatterings of even in Troda to a small extent, but within Barakas there are definitely Goliath-inspired affects. This, however, holds that same almost geometric hexagonal pattern, as if pillars of stone were uprooted and planted like large stakes and arranged. It holds presumably some dialect of Male, which you know as the elemental language akin to Primordial, along the outskirts. There's no light from within, and just seems to be a structure in the water. Otherwise unremarkable, but a little bit dirty, which might be surprising.
Hmm. Be interesting that it looks like Goliath architecture. I guess he'd probably spend a while just looking at it, trying to figure out why it seems so familiar until he realizes. Then when he can't really figure out what it's for, probably take a look at this large rock. This one.
Mm-hmm. The rock to the north of you, almost into your slightly inebriated state, looks like a closed fist. There are indentations that you would presume to be the gaps between the fingers of a closed hand. But there does not seem to be the rest of a statue attached to this disembodied hand.
Does it look like
It looks
It what?
like it is constructed of the same base stone as the architecture to your west.
That's actually exactly what I was going to ask there. It's the same rock.
That's a nice rock.
Dude. And when he goes back this way, he realizes that the path just goes into the water. Seems like something to ask Antonio about later.
Indeed.
Hmm.
The building to the north of you is closed, but you know it to be the courier service. You know Marcus was in there somewhat recently.
Is this rock the same as the one that was in the water?
No.
Hmm. Does the stuff to the west even look like it came from this place?
You would hazard a guess. No. You would hazard a guess that it has been moved. Perhaps from the mountains to the southwest. It seems to be it doesn't. Even looking at the seeming hand of a statue, it does not seem to be like limestone, other than its aesthetic. The porousness of it, as you had looked at the hand, does not seem to be there, which would indicate that it is not native to this space. It is not like the sandstone around you in almost any capacity.
Well, he'll shrug. He'll pick up one of these little bits of the sandstone over here to look at, and it'll wander down this alley. Would be too small for him to fit down if he was bigger.
You begin to wander down the alley as a small silhouette breaches from a nearby shadow and walks up to you. It is a small man with copper hair and a large coat and cloak. His ears are wide, somewhat floppy, and he has round-rimmed glasses, and he just goes, "Hey, you're new here. Welcome. How you doing? Name's Iggy."
Indeed, I am new here. The name is Lord Tyrannus Rex, Bulwark of Troda. I found this rock.
Hey, that's a nice rock. You like rocks? I got some cool rocks.
Oh, quite. I am somewhat of a naturalist. I enjoy looking at the rocks. Where you have rocks?
He'll reach into a pocket and mutter something that you don't quite catch, and he will pull out. It looks to be a set of dice, but they are carved from a harsh, dark stone, and the pips on them are painted on. Yeah, I got these from a fella, little froggy guy, passed through here a couple months ago. Look at them, carved from the stone itself. I don't know which stone, but they're cool rocks.
Can I try to make a check to see what kind of stone it is?
Do you have masonry tools, by any chance?
No. I do got some nature proficiency, though.
Sure, you can roll me nature.
Rats is one of my areas of study.
You would hazard that it is basalt, a dark rock usually found in almost volcanic areas. The guesstimate is that this is somewhere fair to the southwest in origin.
This looks like a basalt. It is a volcano rock from the south, probably.
Oh, that's real cool to hear. Do you need water or something? The fuck is a volcano?
It is like a mountain, but it's on fire sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. Water. Yes, I still have some mead left.
And he'll hold up the remnants of the blueberry mead. It's almost done now. It's as if him talking about water reminded him that he hadn't drank all of that yet, so he actually goes to finish it.
Oh, that's some top shelf stuff there, buddy. You said you were from Froda, and you're a lord, or you got some servants I can direct you to make sure you got a bed for the night.
No, I, I do not have any servants. Just a companion. I know where my where a room for me is.
Well, okay, big guy.
Cool rocks, though.
They are. They're pretty penny is what they cost. If you want to buy them,
Fa-
it's 17 gold. Do you a deal?
17?
Yeah. You said they were some volcanian rock from the south, and they look real nice. So I mean, I'd say that's a bargain.
Would I, in my inebriated state, be able to tell if that is a bargain indeed?
Probably not. It's not a rare mineral in the sense that it isn't like a rare metal. It is just hard to get where you currently are. So it is to him. It's probably overselling it a little bit, but it is genuinely a niche product.
I could do like a a 12. Hmm.
We'll squint. See, I could do 12 for 2 of them, and then I still have 2. How about that?
Hmm.
Let me check something real quick.
Sure.
Sure, it's a wood rock.
Sounds good. He will offer you 2, 2 d6s.
2d6s. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you ever play a dice game with people, oh my god, double ones. That's crazy. Do you give him the 12 gold?
Yeah, I do.
Well, pleasure doing business with you, my lord. He'll bow really deep. I'm gonna head on home. It's getting a bit late. You be good, okay?
He handed me the rocks, right?
Yep. Yeah, he gave you 2.
Indeed. Farewell, Iggy.
He'll give you a wink, a finger crossbow, and then walk into this house and disappear.
Hmm.
Keep walking down the alley as he looks at the rocks in his hands.
You got some cool new rocks. Neat.
Yep.
The city remains
Nope.
mostly silent as you wander around.
It's this place.
The one to the north of you seems to be some kind of art studio. You see that there are small paintings even along the stairwell leading up to a closed door. To the west of you, you are unsure. It just seems like someone's home.
Right the domed house.
Ah, Well, I suppose eventually, after a lot of just looking around, if he's going this way, he'd eventually make his way to this bridge over here.
Yep.
Try to see. This appears to be elevated. This
Yep,
large.
it is elevated up about 15 feet off the ground. It looks to be constructed of maybe a brass or a copper. It is like a large serpent roiling in on itself.
Hmm. Perhaps it is related to like the worms or something. You know, at first over here, there's like not a clear path up, but how tall is this thing in front of him? It's not like he's gonna think to go around the path.
It's about 8 feet.
Only I was still tall.
You contemplate
Mm.
your approach. You do notice that there are signs of life around the structure, though. There are guards patrolling lazily in circles around this spiral.
Best not climb it then.
Alright. As Tyrannus
Yeah.
finds out what to do next, Kasim and Mercus head northward. Their small talk leading them up towards the site of the meteor's landing in an attempt to glean more information. You approach the crash site and you see there is a Waters Guard captain speaking and presumably giving some kind of schedule to the infantrymen that are stood nearby them. There is the sound of spears being planted in the soil as you approach. The captain, noticing this, slowly tilts their head and begins to approach you. State your business.
Oh, wait. Almost brought the Archivist name into some shit. We were here previously doing some research, and we're wondering if we could finish that.
I've been informed not only did you take the subject, but you took ample samples of the gold dust and also interfered with the flames that are now mere smolders. What more could you possibly need in your pursuit of research?
Well, this is something that at least I have never seen before. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. That's and I didn't get a chance personally to check out the smoldering flames.
I also never got to get a sample. My companion did, but that's yeah. I'll just kind of look down.
We have been put under direct orders to not let any incompetent newcomers access the crash site. And seeing as you have the foolish man who caused this, just ask him to make you more flames. How's that?
Oh, I'm not arguing, so it sounds fine. Would you mind if I sat over here and just made some notes, and I will be out of your way after that?
As long as you do not enter the actual crater, That is fine. You may observe. You've already seen. Take your notes, and then leave.
Cool.
Understood.
Didn't get stabbed. Sits. Well, she will just begin opening up her own notebook and scribbling some things. But use this as an excuse to further question Marcus about his asinine amount of answers that he has given. So, born like that. She will actually point back to this bush. Do you think you're cousins?
No, I don't.
Well, seeing as you can smile and laugh and don't have a stick shoved so far up your ass it is puppeting for you, it is nice to meet you.
Are you always this rude? I don't know about my
No. Only to, actually, no. Listen, it's been... A lot has happened to me in the last weeks, upcoming month, however long it's been. You, excuse me and my bluntness and rudeness and confusion. I'm a bit far from home and not well traveled, so...
Say no more. I completely understand.
Well,
I'm not from around here myself.
yeah, where did you say you were from again? Barrow?
Barricas,
Ah,
to the west.
made of stone, Eduardo said. She's now eyeing your skin.
Yeah.
Is that a thing most people are made out of?
No, I'm an Earth Genasi.
Ah, yes, of course. The plants and the skin and
Did you think just all people from over there were like that?
I have been taught not to assume most things. Well then, seeing as we weren't allowed to go inside of the crater, I'm going to sit out here and sober up a bit before heading back to the tavern and calling it a night.
Just kind of nod and start drawing.
The night settles in over you. The respite within the genie's lamp is comfortable. Not quite upper class, but definitely on the more plush side of experiences. Those in the Library of Sand would be offered small cots and reading areas with blankets and other such comforts to handle the weariness of your bodies. Lord Tyrannus, is there more exploration you want to do, or do you think you would find your way back to a room?
As it gets darker, he'd eventually, maybe not immediately, but eventually figure out that he should probably not be out any longer, and would wander back to the genie's lamp, albeit not in a straight line.
Valid. Dante provides rooms. They are covered by Antonio, at least for the moment. And the slow meandering of the moon dancing across the myriad constellations heralds in a chill over the city of O-Shash. The morning comes with no surprise. The lazy exchange of day and night happens seamlessly. There is an odd thing to notice, however, that the inner city itself seems almost devoid of insect life. The climate and environment not being suited, but also the vast amounts of incense that seems to be culturally burned here, keeps any invasive bug life at bay. It is an odd thing to note, but a comfort as you awaken somewhat inebriated without a plethora of bug bites across your skin. You begin to gather in the Library of Sand. Lord Tyrannus still being small for the moment. In the morning, Antonio is just freshly stepping away from the ritual. Both Leith and Lurian would be able to note that it will take him at least another day. However, as it is complete, a segment of unseen servants begin to arrive, bearing books and other research materials. He hands them out before returning to his incantations with the soft note to Kasim that Grandmother would be here about 3 p.m. So about 5 hours from now.
Wonderful. Thank you.
The notes that you have taken cover a small variety of research topics. So we'll start with faith and the thread spinner specifically. Let's go with... To start with faith and the thread spinner. The ideals of the thread spinner are diverse amongst their followers. Some say that it is they that weave fate itself and control a great loom that determines destiny. This is, by majority, the belief of the High Elves of Cronach. They associate the night sky and the ever-shifting constellations as the gaps in the Great Weave that indicate decisions necessary for mortal interaction, and attempt to extrapolate these cryptic clues to learn more about the future, but also use it to reference the past. Others believe that it is the thread spinner that sits at the top of the divine pillar, that the thread portion refers to the lattice-like construction of the planar realms, woven together, and that the quill is indicative of one who catalogues stories and histories. Perhaps the world is just one stage play being dictated by a greater being's hand. However, wherever you fall, those that follow her know that history and the future are inextricably linked, and that the travesty of the Age of Ashen Names is a sign of an antagonistic force against the gods, for to remove the evidence of fate is to endanger the entire loom to the unraveling of time. Marcus, I believe it is you who asked specifically for the thread spinner. Do you have any follow-on questions at this time, or
not currently? No.
Cool.
He's still way too new religion to have many questions right now.
Thumbs up. The second topics were on local wildlife and aberrant wildlife. So much of the local wildlife of the desert is inextricably linked to its history of verdance, as much of it is resourceful and elemental. There are large turtles that host ecosystems upon their shelves that now use that plant life like a portable energy reserve, settling into oases and waiting patiently for the plant life to grow before beginning to migrate again. Otherwise, there are cactus-like creatures that hold sentience whose plant life is an indication of a time gone by. It is presumed they were once closer to rose bushes in their many thorns, but have slowly shifted and adapted. The more recently adapted animal types can also be seen in the great worms that burrow in the sands, worms being WORMS, not dragons. Those worms were once a minor portion of the ecosystem that now feeds almost exclusively on the Pandoran energy seeping out of the world tree nearby. They have grown fat and predatory against those that disturb their territories. Additionally, a new species of creature has found its way into the Silent Desert and has been allocated the name Bule. Burrowing carnivorous creatures that boast an exoskeleton that seems to be made of hard minerals and metals. These aggressive creatures emerge and flee on the flip of a dime and have been a consistent issue with traveling inwards within the Silent Desert. Recently, there have been abnormalities that have been noted. The first is the feeding requirements of creatures. Those that have been seen to be aberrant seem to be drawn similarly to the burrowing worms to Pandoran energy itself rather than meat and muscle and fat. It has been noted that specific variants possibly associated with the spell schools or source act as differing stimuli to these creatures. There is no catalogue of this at this time, it is just noted that they react differently. The second alteration is in construction. Bodies have become twisted, and where pack-reliant scavengers existed, now they cannibalize and hunt their own, and have grown larger because of it. Their hides being comparable to a bule's thickness, and their fangs posing a remarkable regenerative property, not unlike shark teeth. Wherever these creatures go, it is as if they are feeding to ensure their continued existence in an act of desperation, like their body is entirely breaking down and needs constant upkeep. Those that have been noted with abnormalities are always aggressive. The final oddity is spell-like adaptations, where traditional spellcraft is being replicated by these creatures, but without the verbal components being a necessary part of that puzzle. The Silent Desert now has more denizens that hold to its name. Is there any add-on questions for the wildlife segments?
For the what were they called again? The worms. They have an actual name.
They're just called great worms. They were just worms and now they're big. They have not been dubbed with anything special.
It is a two-part question. Is there a way to notice them? Like, I'm assuming they're ambush-like or move under the sand, so we don't walk over one or
Yes.
can see one coming.
You will feel the rumbling of the soil underneath your feet. That is similar both for the large worms and for the bule. But in particular, the worms, their burrowing path tends to leave almost divots in the sand, where you can test it with the end of a spear, for example. And that will indicate if said pillars are somewhat hollow and the spear slides in easily, it would indicate the presence of one of these creatures.
So
They have an odd effect on the soil.
They burrow closer to the surface on average.
On average, yeah.
He'll nod.
Is there a way to deter these creatures, or at least keep ourselves hidden from them?
They do not possess eyes and generally detect through vibrations, but also spell casting. If you are attempting to evade them, do not cast a spell. They will scent out the magic and come for you. Generally, it is best to remain still and wait for the rumbling to stop. Or flee, if you think you can reach a large, solid platform that they cannot burrow through.
Wonderful.
It
Right
is worth noting that there are not many of these and they do not hunt in packs. Seems that their rapid growth has led them to be somewhat secluded from each other. So you are unlikely to encounter many.
All right. Are there any plants or anything out? This is assuming, worst case scenario, something goes wrong that we can rely on or use outside of magic.
There's only plant life that can be spotted amidst small oases that have been strategically placed throughout the Silent Desert by the nomadic Edelmava. They cultivate small amounts of fruit that are rather efficient and nutritious, but said oases also occasionally have the odd turtle, so you probably shouldn't try and swim in it, or you might lose a toe or a whole foot. But over the vast majority of the land of the desert, there is no plant life.
Right. And towards the shrine, once we head towards it, I'm assuming not much is known of what creatures might be altered within there.
There's not currently information, and that is part of what the divination ritual Antonio is embarking on, is aiming to uncover. The boundary runes, as Kasim would know, likely, or at least you would assume, that the significance of the boundary runes dropping is not just physical access, it is magical access. It would not have been possible to divine within the boundaries of the Silent Shrine.
Do you have any notes for what the runes on, or at least around the shrines, may look like?
He would have some. You can go ahead and roll me an Arcana check with advantage, as this is your mother's specialty field. On an 18, the runic script is not super familiar to you. It is not in Jotun, and it is not in Draconic. In fact, it is in Ecliptic, the blended language of celestials and infernal creatures. Though the language is different, there are some motifs that carry over and are used sort of interchangeably within spellcraft, and you find a couple here. The first important notation is a refusal of divine energy. But not just that, a refusal of fate tampering energy. It has been noted that in some capacity there are those that can, through force of will, impact fate. Be it features of a magical effect like a spell, or an innate strength. This boundary was an utter refusal of all things that would interfere on that level. So perhaps there is a shrouding element to it, that whomever it is could dictate such grander schemes could not write within the boundaries of the Silent Shrine. Regardless, that's the first important notation. The second is strange. It is a transmutative influence, and it seems to be a attempt at isolating a piece of one's biology and having it advance, not in terms of age or time, but develop as natural mutations and evolutions would. So whatever was contained here would have been under a constant influence of forced evolution, but it does not seem to be on a large scale. You're not able to decipher what, who, or to what end this energy was used for, but it did seem to be deployed with a purpose and not just wanton creation.
Oh, I'm nerding out so hard. That sparkle Archivist has in his eye about his little child in the corner, I am fucking beaming right now.
That is the only real information you're able to glean from the notations. Some of that is presumption, some of that is conclusion, but you're pretty confident on those two pillars of information being accurate.
Did he have this information himself, or did
There was loose theorizing on it. The fate influence is mostly sort of written off as anti-divination because that's almost standard. It is the likely conclusion, so it is the one he found. Obviously, he noted that it is in ecliptic and that there was some transmutative force to it, but he did not have much past that.
My interest is piqued. I think that was all the questions I had at the moment. I'm interested in seeing this divination spell go through.
Cool. Does anyone else have any
Alright.
questions regarding the research?
Yes. So, if the worms feed upon the Pandoran energy, then why do they ambush travelers?
The notations believe it to be a territorial behavior, that all paths within the Silent Desert eventually lead to the World Tree, and that these worms tend to locate themselves along commonly traveled intersections in an attempt to defend their food source. It is not a logical reasoning, but it's what is surmised within the text. These worms are quite large, so they travel quite far, stay in a location until they are hungry, and then go back. It is possible for them to subsist on travelers, but it would need a very large quantity of them or a very potent spellcaster. So perhaps it is defense or ambition. It's not really well defined.
Alright. And then also the boule,
Yep.
if we will. Does it say anything about the composition of is their exoskeleton? Does it match the minerals of the area, or do they have their own unique kind of mineral?
The Boule populace are too new to the area and haven't had much research gone into them. Most Boule have been slain have been consumed and their carcass tossed to the wayside. There isn't extensive notes on the composition.
Consider Lord Tyrannus Rex highly intrigued. That'll be all the questions on that research, I guess.
It's like a shark made of rock, and I like rocks.
Yes, especially hard minerals and metals. Yes, very interesting.
Very cool.
The final oddity, the monsters or the wildlife with spell-like adaptations, are there only certain ones, or is it just we could randomly encounter any of them?
It seems to be random. There is no consistency. It has been noted in hyenas, it has been noted in the worms, it has been noted in the turtles, and even like the small, the smaller life that populates the plant shell.
Okay.
It
Is
is
there
sporadic and random.
is there anything that like signifies ones that we should avoid?
No, that's the issue.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
He'll
said
just
the
not-
ones that have the deviations from their normal species. I'm assuming we won't be able to tell those apart from their increased aggression.
Increased aggression is your main indication. Some of them look emaciated or have other compositional changes, but it is, again, not consistent. You could see a hyena that walks on two legs, or you could just see a really skinny hyena. Shrug. There is no consistency.
Any of these venomous or poisonous that we should prepare for? Naturally speaking.
Yeah, that's a very good question. It is recorded that some of the elemental plant life does have the capacity to give poisonous effects. So antidotes and other, resources are still valuable. Because if you get
Yeah,
uppercut by a cactus and then like start getting welts, that's on you. But like, it's not exactly venomous; it's a plant.
Yeah, I'm just she's noting it for the future resources that we will need for this adventure. All right, well, I'm going to go prepare some notes for grandmother's arrival. I'll be over here if you need me.
Out of one more question, actually.
Yep.
Did it say anything about in these, like in the oases where we could find water? Are there predators that lurk in those, like sharks or crocodiles or something along those lines?
There's not much mention other than that the oases are kept safe by the Edelmava who make them as their regular stopping point on their nomadic existence. Whatever predatory species that might use it as an opportune hunting place have likely been killed and consumed by the native wood elves. Other than don't step on a turtle that's trying to like soak. That motherfucker will eat you. But that's more a defense mechanism than a opportunist behavior.
Get it.
Excuse me, Antonio.
Oh, yes? What do you need?
Well, firstly, I would like to know, how long does this spell last that has me at this size?
Oh, it was only meant to be an hour or so.
Oh,
Huh.
interesting. Huh.
I could cast it again and make you big.
We should wait until I'm out of the library.
That's
But
smart.
yes, I would appreciate that. I was also wondering. Last evening, I saw the structure in the oasis. Do you know what purpose that has? What is that structure?
It is a difficult question to answer. The male writing upon it wouldn't lead us to believe it is some elemental influence, and there are rumors that it is a cage or a prison for a creature, but it is seen as quite the faux pas to attempt to investigate it directly. So I am unsure. I have not ventured a guess or been sent here to inquire about it, and I don't particularly want to seek the general's permission. So I've left it as a Edelmava curiosity for now.
Well, I suppose then you should know that it does not appear Edelmava and make it looks more Goliath, if I had to guess.
Oh. Huh. That is strange.
It does not even look like it is made from the rock that exists here. Like it was brought.
I've not spared it much thought, but as far as I'm aware, the structure has been there for a couple hundred years. There's a chance that its true purpose was lost in the age, and now it is just a monument that they are superstitious of. I'll keep it in mind. If I have access to any more information, I could inquire for you. Perhaps it is worth looking into.
Thank you.
You'll load. ritual casting.
There, Lurian.
Yes. I forget. It's you wanted Lord Rex?
Indeed, that is fine.
Yes. Yes, Lord Rex. What may I help you with?
Were you awake at all during your descent?
It's a blur, really. I got maybe a few flashes, but not anything I could truly call being awake or sentient.
So you do not know what it is like flying in the sky at such high speed?
Well, I could say that
What's it
it
like
was
up there?
rather terrifying, to be quite honest, being hurled towards the ground at speeds I've never personally reached, and with a golden flame surrounding me. It was very unique in terms of sights, though. The few flashes that I can remember, the landscape was never ending.
Oh, you got a view of the landscape from on high. Interesting. It's truly incredible that you were not splattered on impact. Yes.
I can't say that I didn't slightly expect to come away damaged. However, it does sound like I suffered from quite the fevers. But not exactly the symptom I would have thought that I'd be walking away with after something like that.
Indeed. Not what you'd think. So where did you fall from? What's it like up there in the sky?
Well, the place that I was at was very similar to a desert, actually. It's very similar to this. It was just a never ending desert that eventually fell through. It was vast and like a large deserted desert ruin.
So, if you fell from a desert to a desert, then perhaps are there just layers of desert stacked on top of each other, above the clouds and beneath the minerals?
That would certainly be interesting, but I think I think there's more variance than just desert. I can't imagine that this entire land is just desert.
Perhaps it mirrors itself. You fell from a desert onto a desert, but if you were above a mountain or a forest, perhaps they're similar in that aspect to what is above or beneath them.
I've never limited planes to having a vertical axis and going off of that, but it's a potential. I
It
can't
is
necessarily deny it entirely myself.
it is also very possible that whatever cast your fall also cast you in this direction. You fell
True.
quite near civilization. If you were cast randomly aside, there was a good chance you would fall somewhere where you would perish.
Divine intention on the spot. Well, I certainly think that they picked an awkward spot. But what do I know?
I am sure this is preferable to the far north or to the far south.
I would tend to agree with that. Leith, your name was?
Yes.
Yes, certainly better than the far north. Cold up there. I wonder if you hit the ice wall at such speeds, would you have sunk into it or simply rebounded off the edge? I guess we'll never know.
I wonder how the fire would interact with the ice as well.
It did not seem like a very burny fire, to use a very technical term there.
I wonder, yes. It did leave a mark.
Your contemplations are interrupted by the soft jingling of metal and the creaking of a mostly broken hinge. An older lady begins to stride through the library. She is donned in elaborate golden silks, wearing a shawl around her head. She seems human in origin. She will walk past you, moving intently towards the archivist. A short exchange is had as the archivist gestures towards Kasim, and the old lady will nod and bow before moving back southward and settling into a nearby chair. She will speak out first towards those stood in a soft conversation and just say, "Oh, dearies, it's a pleasure to meet you all. I am Grandmother Owl. You shiny one with the cracks, I had heard you were the newcomer who caused quite the ruckus in the city, and that some of you," she'll gesture to Kasim, "had questions regarding faith. I am here, at the behest of the Archivist, to answer what I can. So please, speak with me. Vent your questions, and I will do my best in order to answer them."
How do you say your name again? Ow. Ow.
It's A-U.
Ow. Like.
Yeah. It sounds like O-W.
Ah. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Of all the chairs you could have sat next to.
If you hold shift, you can place yourself on a chair.
I believe in you. Here, let me move over so Leith can sit. There you go.
Are you on a chair? What do you mean?
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Well, I'm taking this one. Fuck you.
Alright, this is the highlight of the session. Getting
Musical
on the chair.
You guys set up now? You good? All right.
Well, I will be the first to. She's not Alabama. I can be nice. Thank you.
She is an aged human woman.
Well, wonderful. You won't eat me for being polite. Thank you for coming to speak with us. Yes, where am I? I'm Kasim. I had the questions about faith and actually a few more. But I guess she will gesture towards Leith. This is my companion, Leith.
Oh, hello. She smiles.
All right, seeing as nobody else is going to introduce themselves, do you know much about these runes that were around the shrine? I know it's not much, but it's currently my current focus at the moment.
She'll extend a wrinkled hand and receive the notes from you. Her pale yellow eyes scan the page briefly. Well, it is certainly ecliptic, but not particularly. Rune work is a delicate process that I have not quite spent a lot of time studying. Keep others out, it seems, but I cannot tell you much regarding
It is
spell.
it is fine. It was just a curious question I'd like to ask. Faith, I recall there is a statue here that you live by. Could you tell me about that?
Yes, it is a relic of before the age, like a great serpent roiling over itself. And it is what the locals revered as a holy site. I came to town some years ago and began to preach, and it is by their whims that I now live near said shrine. There are many ideals that can be drawn from a serpent's appearance. The idea of an ever-flowing entity, a strength, a resilience, a renewal in some cases, that I have grown fond of in the years. Even if the old serpent himself is an angry man, the monument that bears a similar name is a kind place for those who visit.
Do you know anything of other faiths? Say, like the luminescence?
A smattering of different topics is what I've come to learn, but the luminescent is quite adjacent my own beliefs. I am a cleric of the Shroud myself. She will hold up a golden pendant that resembles a pair of hands closing over a flame. It is an assumption, in some cases, that the luminescent and the shroud are two sides of a similar coin, where one believes it is right to burn brightly, the other believes in sheltering potential. I do not have qualms with those of that faith, but they tend to be ambitious and righteous in the methods that often chafe with others. It is upon rumors and wind that there is a sect of them in the west, near the city of Iaslan, wishing to venture into the mountains, for holy symbology has been found on architecture there, up near the spires of Mastine. That is the only recent events regarding the luminescent I am aware of, at least.
And what do you think of this one, then? The sky falling and loosing a man. It seems something out of script, does it not?
Well, she sort of gives Lurian a look up and down. There is much to be said of the whims of great beings. There is much to be said of the impact of the age and or lack of knowledge on true scripture. It is definitely an omen that a man can fall from the sky, showering gold dust. It is an oddity. From what Antonio had briefed me on very shortly, it does seem that there are divine influences that touch the man's body. I do not think it is of my faith, however, that would send one in such a manner. It is more reminiscent of the luminescent, or if you were to go on the nose with it, the ledger hand. As a point of curiosity and honesty, do one of you have a gold piece?
Yes.
Hand it to
You-
Lurian.
Ugh.
It has been mentioned that you are lacking in information. Is that true?
Sort of.
Yes.
Good. Look at the gold and tell me if there is something strange about it.
Okay.
Hands gold piece.
Hands gold piece. Spazzes out.
Lurian, make me your choice of Arcana or Religion while examining the gold piece.
I shall do religion. Shouldn't have done religion.
The coin in your hand is quite dissimilar to those that you are used to. It is a little thicker, and the light does not quite catch on it the way that your own currency seems to have happened. There is an oddity about it, a magical imprint, but you are not able to discern why or what purpose it may have.
The gold, it's strange. It doesn't seem as clean, and it has this signature on it. I can't make it out entirely.
Well, for one with such little information, I suppose that is a good sign. Do any of you possess the capacity to mold earth or shift soil or metal?
I can burrow underground, but not really.
I can shift metal with a hammer.
That isn't exactly what I mean. I mean spellcraft. Or cast illusions, perhaps?
Thaumaturgy?
Checking thought.
No, that's a sound. I don't know if that one particular will do it.
No. Thaumaturgy does not work.
Nope.
Looking for mold earth, minor illusion, that kind of.
Nope.
Well, unfortunate, but you will have to trust me on this, I suppose. She will pull a gold coin from a pouch, and you see mold earth cantrip. And you watch as the small glyph attempts to manipulate the metals in the coin. And you see the glyph itself burn away in the air, not fading as perhaps you have been used to, but as if repulsed or removed. Money, at least the gold that we have since before the age, has an imprint on it. It cannot be manipulated, illusoried, or changed, albeit a good hammer could do so, and age certainly takes its toll. If there was an exchange of memories for purpose or power, it isn't one for gold. Perhaps that is just a happenstance and curiosity. Mr. Lurian, I have been told that your body is composed of such a mineral. Is that true?
Yes. It is.
If you'll pardon the experimentation, I'm going to cast a spell on you. I would like you to allow it to happen.
I am in your care.
She will weave a sigil in the air, and using a little finesse, a little magical know-how, will cast Disguise Self on you. The alterations shift your vestments into a burgundy and gold shawl, your skin tone to a dull grey, and your ears pointed. The facsimile of Antonio is presented over Lurian's body. But just as quick as it appears, the sigil, still being woven as the disguise is being implanted, the sigil begins to burn away, similar to the gold coin. Well, that's not regular, as I suppose we can expect. You watch as the pieces of Antonio sort of flake off, almost in shards, or crumbles from Lurian's demeanor. If I was a betting woman, I would assume that you are associated with the Ledger Hand. It is presumed that it was his people who made the currency this way, and it seems to carry over to you. Not a negative in some sense, but at least you cannot be dishonest.
Yes, indeed. I find it a blessing that my God has bestowed me with such gifts. And I would never try to hide them.
Well, good. That's one conundrum answered. He's a cleric of the Ledger Hand. Seems pretty straightforward. As for purpose, that much I don't know. Antonio mentioned something about the shrine. Perhaps your coming is an omen that you ought to be there. I don't know. It does bear ecliptic on the runes. I am not a delver, I am a speaker. Stay true, don't lie, make good deals, young man, or perhaps your body will flake away like the dust that fell from you.
Thank you.
It's my gold
Wise
piece
words
back.
that I will take into consideration. And yes, here's your gold. Thank you for allowing me the demonstration.
Yes. That boy ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that answered about as many questions that it has now made.
Faith does that. You must trust in it rather than question it in most capacities. But curiosity and debate is always good.
Yes. She leans back in her chair. I can feel that this is about to be a whole just thing. I need more notebooks. Well, you are very helpful. Did you have any advice for us heading towards the shrine ourselves, especially as outsiders?
Her mouth will open and then close. She sort of glances at Veldra. Most advice that I would wish to give, I do not think is in Antonio's interest, and he brought me here mostly in repayment of a favor. I believe, personally, that the light of civilization as it is what must be sheltered. The longer we claw to vestments of the past and to the unknown, the further from its warmth we will find ourselves. You may run at rumors and change, but always keep the flame burning, no matter the cost. Yoleti smiles. Such curious kids. So eager to run after rumor of silence. The forest is dead. What use is there clinging to old constructions and ruins? Who cares? The city is here. You're better off clearing trade routes than pursuing ruins.
Well, how can we know we aren't making a mistake if we don't know what's there?
Because currently you have warm blood pumping in your veins. You have muscles and strength and magic at your fingertips. The mistake is to take those things for granted and rush into a situation where you do not have the information to know it is a wise or intelligent decision. The rune will be there when you are old, and perhaps then you can venture to it.
And
Beautiful
yet,
smile, as this sounds exactly like a conversation she had a few weeks ago.
and yet, it may very well be the inverse, where one's path ends much before that time, and one will never see such a ruin again.
Or, no, old age may become too weak to venture to such curiosities.
She nods both to Leith and to Tyrannus. But an old person has much less to lose. Your warforged friend is right. To some degree, perhaps the possibility fades, and the next group that thinks it's a wise idea succeeds. Possibilities are always present. But foolishness is also. The Edelmava have avoided that location for years for good reason, just because now it's flashing some lights in the night does not indicate that it is a good time to be there. But I digress. Perhaps you will find a secret. Perhaps you will learn the secrets of the World Tree. Perhaps you will learn of the blood that soaks the sands. I don't know. But I do genuinely hope that when you are next in the city after said expedition, you are not missing limbs, or, gods forbid, one of you. Such places are never safe. You cannot shelter a flame if you are inept.
Well, I find myself in as good of a time as any to explore such a place.
She nods, genuinely agreeing with you. And you are an old person, I would assume. You can do whatever you wish. Not many of you left. If you want to explore, perhaps you could find another one. There's merit in that, at least.
Yes, I have met others, but not all of us see eye to eye.
There's a brief moment where she blinks, almost heavily, as you use an expression that does not apply to your eyeless face. Well, for glory, go forth and discover the secrets of the sand. If you wish for a calmer life, I often need attendants up near the serpent. If one of you would like to be an acolyte or a maid, cleaner, whatever it is, understand that just because this is a path that might fall away, it does not mean it is the only path. She'll begin to stand.
I have no more questions, but I will see you to the door.
Okay. She'll stand. She'll make a gesture.
Grandma!
towards you.
Whee! I love old people. You sound just like my mom.
She will. I'm gonna just move you down near the end. Bam. Boom. She didn't come with you. Idiot.
Dumb bitch. Now that idiot's gone.
You begin to make your way out of earshot. The lady smiles warmly towards Shannon, who does not particularly acknowledge her presence. But as you sort of reach a more quiet area, she slows, anticipating the conversation.
What you said about the shrine being there once we were older, I heard it before from my own mother. It seems, I don't know. I don't mean to sound insulting, but it seems fearful. There is so much out there, and what are we supposed to do? Wait until we're old and can't really do much to go look for it?
It is fearful. I will not deny that. But it is not fearful for perhaps the object of your interest. I fear that your young life will come to an end at the behest of a trap laid by men whose names have been scrubbed from history. It will not validate their work, nor validate your curiosity if you are a corpse. It is fearful of the lost potential, where one could shelter a flame and nurture it until it is ready to illuminate the darkness that needs to be illuminated. I wish you the best, and mostly for the capacity that one day, if you were to grow older and settle and have a family, that civilization would continue to exist and pulse and remain, rather than throwing all of our youngsters into ruins that we don't need to know about. I fear lost potential, that is all.
I can understand that. I will take heed to your words. It's the second time I've heard it, so there's some truth to it. But I'm here at least at the behest of my own mother, so I will see this through, and perhaps afterwards decide if a quiet life at home might be something I should look into. Thank you for your advice and insight on Lurian. I will try to continue my own findings with him, and perhaps once we are back, share them with you.
I would be curious. It is an odd thing to see a man made of gold. And that is a curiosity I can admire from the city that is safe. She smiles.
Yes.
Good. Pay me a visit
Good.
whenever you wish. I will be around.
Later.
She will
See why at.
and make her departure.
If I hear one more person say that exact conversation to me again, I might lose my mind.
Also, it's like the inverse of your faith of like, if you're gonna die, you might as well die well. She's like, why would you die? You have life to live.
Yeah, like, goodness gracious. Well then. Some of you are quiet.
Not much to say.
does bring a point. Why are you all here for that exact reason? You're simply curious to visit the shrine, to investigate it, to discover? Why do you put your lives on the line?
Well, you mentioned that we had so much to lose, but I see it the opposite. We have so much to gain. Knowledge of what lies within, the glory from uncovering said knowledge. That's just... what else could be in there besides knowledge and acclaim? We don't know until we go there.
Yet the past is still the past. You could find something there, but at the same time, nothing. My people were always taught to focus on the now than rather than the before. However, I do agree that changes could be made. Change isn't bad. Nor being afraid isn't bad either.
Why would I fear risking my life when I do not even know myself?
What? Were you around before the forgotten times?
Yes.
Or are you hoping that you'll find something of that time? You
Perhaps.
curious of what you were before?
Perhaps, or perhaps I am simply seeking for understanding of the current state I find myself in. Though either one of those things is an endeavor, I am more than willing to... how would I say it? Perish pursuing.
Although I'm here because my own adventures towards personal research was seen as dangerous. I'm here for about the same reason. It's change is good, and if I am to die, I want to die at least helping others venture into the future and find things, understand things. When I'm old, I can go find somewhere quiet to roam and slow down, but I'm young, I'm curious, and I'm able to explore.
Yes, I would say that, as for myself, the main reason of my going, perhaps not as ironically noble as to further research. I certainly have my own curiosities to research, but why I set out from the mountains, what I'm doing here, in this age where names are forgotten, I do yearn for mine to be remembered. I cannot do that by staying in the mountain.
Eldra will Eldra will stand. I heard all your opinions, but I haven't heard any from you. He points at Marcus.
He's just gonna look at you and shrug. My employer requested information on that shrine. So that's what I'm here to gather.
Knowing that your lives are on the line, you are all still certain to go. Have any of you been in danger before?
Is falling into a. You know what? Never mind.
I thought it was funny. Go ahead.
Define danger.
I suppose if the question is if I have been in peril, then yes. I have traveled from the far south all the way to the north and now here. The road is not kind.
That is true. If it seems why I'm asking so much questions, I'm simply trying to know more on who I'm working with exactly. Where the shrines are still unknown to us all. But I suppose I should rephrase my question. If you ever been in danger, you ever taken the life of another before? Defended yourself?
I haven't had the need to, no.
Well, you're probably going to feel that once we go there. Dangers are known. And you're fine with that, I presume?
I am able to defend myself, probably without the need of killing others.
Yet they go after your life as well?
I mean, isn't that what you all are for?
Even though his mouth is covered, you could tell. even though his mouth is covered, you could tell that he has a smile, and he's like, "That you are correct on."
I mean, we do have the great Lord Tyrannus with us, do we not?
As trained and prepared as I am, I cannot say I've been in mortal combat with another who wishes to slay me. So this is going to be a first in that regard.
Marcus, were you going to say something?
Nope. He's just gonna look surprised that Tyrannus said that, like, oh.
I'm quite young after all.
You know, now that I think about it, Lurian, you are a cleric. You will probably be back there with me, so we should probably stay somewhat close together, I assume. Seeing as you are still figuring out what you all can do. It seems as if most of you are, she'll address Lord Tyrannus, Leith, and Deldra, who have fucking pointy-ass weapons, will be in, somewhere up there, being violent. Can you actually do anything? other than melt and flake.
I can fling water.
Yes, we saw that one.
He can also be very sassy.
Oh, yes.
I am currently unaware of my capabilities or lack thereof, and I hope that you all can bear with me while trying to figure them out, and pray that it is in short fashion that I do.
Well,
Useless.
Whoa, whoa. Coming from the guy with half of an arm?
Did he say that?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
well then.
What's
Well,
happening?
I'm gonna go this way. Ignore me.
Can you repeat what you said?
It's strange that somebody with an arm like that is calling another man useless.
And what is wrong with my arm?
I assume
It
it's
works
bandaged for a
normally.
reason.
That it is, yet I am still able to move it freely, as you can see.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry.
I don't mind insults, but the one that treated this arm would. And I
Did you
respect
not
him
just
very much.
insult a stranger and calling him useless?
He just admitted that he doesn't know what to do, nor what his capabilities are.
I don't think that makes him useless.
It well
What
might.
does that make him?
I believe there is a lack of use when one does not know what they are capable of. It may be, well, rather, such capabilities may be excavated, but the statement stands. It is not
Still,
completely incorrect, but I believe it is hasty to make such a judgment.
Well, until he does prove his use, that is what he is now, not what is after, or what it could be.
I mean, he fell from the very skies themselves. Could be a kind of a sign. Perhaps he has good luck.
What could be?
Nice.
Perhaps
Nice.
he is be of use later.
Look, I simply don't want to deal with dead weight. But if he can prove me wrong, then he could do so if he wishes.
All I'm saying is just give him a chance. It seems like we're gonna be stuck together for a while. Maybe we shouldn't all start off on the wrong foot. And he'll glance over at Lurian and then back at Belgium.
Still, don't take no disrespect. I only see worth in those that could actually prove it. That's just the way how it is, how I was raised.
Just not.
I suppose then we shall see if he can prove himself to you.
That I'm looking forward to. Well, looks like we're done here.
As
Seeing everyone
Zelda
scattering.
announces the scattering of people, Antonio mid-incantation is interrupted as a courier rushes in from the south, handing him a letter and then rushing out. The elven man pauses his work, reading the letter, slowly walking southward. There's a face of shock, or an expression of shock on his face. There was an item I needed that has been waylaid. Banditry is my presumption. The ritual is almost complete, and I am happy to see it through. However, once it is done, there's an errand I need you to embark upon. This item is necessary to your success, and I pity the man who is carrying it.
Do you have knowledge on whereabouts it was lost?
About a day to the northeast of here is where the blood trail was picked up by a wandering Mava tribe. They noticed the courier insignia and has notified it within the city. The assumption is that the locale is not far from there. A day, maybe two.
Understood.
I will arm you and your companions as best I can before you leave. But still, where have Kissim and Lurian gone?
Oh, they're hiding over there.
You guys doing anything over here?
Making out in the corner.
Shit talking.
Do you?
I'm yapping with him. Cool. While the girls were arguing over who's the prettiest, I tapped Lurian on the shoulder and brought him over here. We got off on the wrong foot, and I will not. I don't want to stand that way moving forward, seeing as we're going to work together. And as someone who doesn't have a wide range of skills, I'm not going to sit here and judge you for not remembering your own. If you want, I perhaps could help. At least give you a general idea of what you can do if you are up for more, I guess, experimentation.
Why, sure. I also must apologize, as I've spent some time with Sir Leith. I understand that you are his companion, and I do not think that someone who would travel with that man could necessarily be as
Barbaric.
poorly. Yeah, I guess barbaric will work. As I may have first judged you out to be. So, fresh page.
Yes. Seeing as gold is a interesting little interaction, she'll plop down and pat the ground next to her, and hand you a gold coin again. I understand you don't remember anything, but trying something is, well, trying anything. Just focus on, I guess, the feeling of, I believe something was going on while you were sleeping. Focus on that again. See if you can, I guess, feel tingly or anything. And I'm going to cast Detect Magic on you to see if perhaps I can at least see what school of magic you might be skilled in. As a cleric, it shouldn't be too hard.
Now, I do want to let you know that this gold might be consumed in the process.
Yes.
Right. Then, sure. I find no fault with this.
Cool. Bloop.
So he'll pick up the gold and, seeing that it needs a contract to be able to perform the magic. I think he'll designate the gold and then maybe do something illusory to try to make, I don't know, another image of himself as just something to fill the clause.
The gold coin does not burn away in your hand, curiously, though it does grow warm. Your attempt at projecting an illusion does not quite take place, but there is a small pulse of energy. The coin itself will reverberate as your Pandoran energy ekes out of the cracks in your skin, and a golden illusory buckler appears over your forearm. There is force in it. There is a solid strength to its nature. It is a cantrip of the Abjuration spell school called Force Buckler. As a bonus action, you are able to conjure a shield that temporarily increases your armor class. You are unsure if the consumption of the coin will occur if the shield is dispelled. However, it seems, at least for minor magics, it is not.
Very interesting.
That's curious. What was that magic again? What was the name of that spell again?
It is Force Buckler.
Force Buckler.
Interesting. Well, seeing as my gold coin is still here, I was a little worried that trying to do this process over time would render me broke, but never mind.
You have more time if you want to continue experimenting.
How much time does it seem like we have? Because I don't want to.
Let me look at session time. A little bit, yeah. You could get a couple more spells locked in, if you want to get all the cantrips or aim for first level stuff. But Lurian, roll me a straight charisma check. Depending on your result, you will get an amount of your spells. With a little time and perhaps shaky effort, Lurian begins to lean into the faculty of Pandora, the strength of magic as it is made, drawing connections on exchange and strength and the worth and weight of currency. There is a small table nearby whereupon you guys set up some loose sheets of parchment, sort of standing them up so that offensive actions may be trained. The first, or I guess second, cantrip that Lurian uncovers is called Coin Trick. Coin Trick is a evocation cantrip. It has a range of... checking. It says range of self. I'll double check that in a second. I think it's 90 or 120 feet. Coin Trick is an attack roll that deals 1d8 radiant damage, and the coin bounces and targets a second creature within 15 feet using the same initial attack roll, dealing 1d4 radiant damage. So you ping ping. The third cantrip that Lurian has access to is Message. Straightforward enough. You can send telepathic messages. And the fourth is Word of Radiance, which is an AoE save versus radiant damage. With a 9, you can confirm that you can in fact cast both Healing Word and Cure Wounds. But that is all for now.
Having 2 clerics with us should actually be quite useful.
Especially depending on the length that we're out. I do think that supplies might be a worry, though, in terms of food and drinkable water.
Financially, I'm quite secure, so I might be able to help, and I think the Archivist will not let his expedition he is hiring go to waste. That's a lot of money to waste, so I wouldn't be too worried.
As it crosses your mind, a twinned message cantrip is cast, and each of you hear the Archivist's voice in your mind. The two of you, I understand you are working on something, but I need to conclude this ritual and send you out soon. There's been a development.
That seems to be all the time we have. We can pick this back up another time.
Yes.
Are we leaving now?
You may be. There's a question that needs to be answered first. I've devised the ritual to inquire what guards the silent shrine, for if it is a entity or a force or faction, it is an important piece to uncover. It should also give us the capacity and nature of the creature we have found ecliptic within the boundary runes, so the presumption of celestial or infernal influence is strong. To update the two that have arrived. After this divination, I will be sending you out to retrieve a package from a courier that has been waylaid by bandits. It should be a good bonding exercise in some capacity. To learn your capabilities and to work as a unit. Please wait a moment. The ritual is almost complete. Antonio steps within the circle, within the roiling waves of energy. His hands move and shift like a conductor directing notes, as the instrument of his will, the arcane spellwork ahead of him, thrums and shifts in hue. There is a burning and metallic tang in the air. His chanting repeats a question over and over again. What guards the silent shrine? As his words reach a pitch, the energy no longer flows out of the circle but folds within it, creating a latticed dome of light that begins to dull and pulse. At the conclusion of the ritual, the totems shudder, releasing their hold as the spell is complete. The light and lattice shift into a darker hue. Tinges of grey flaking off like so many feathers shed by a flock of birds that are nowhere to be seen, and a silhouette appears within the vision. A voice slowly whispers its intentions and its answer. It walks on silence. It feeds on fear. It is a hollow herald, drawing feathers near. It is woven from morning and stitched in the dusk, given breath by a vow long faded to dust. Know not its name, for knowledge grants it form. Know not its face, lest the stitches be torn. The silhouette turns like a monstrous scarecrow. Dull eyes beneath a wide-brimmed hat creak and shift with hues of orange as the feathers lift off throughout the library. As all things do, it fades to dust as Antonio pants. A construct, then? That is an answer, at least. Whatever it is, it feeds on knowledge. So be aware of what you glean while traveling through the shrine. I will prepare a secondary ritual to be ready before you set off. He will sigh. He will produce a notebook and he will transcribe the question and answer that he had gained. As he does so, his voice will slowly hum as he begins a secondary incantation. The creaking wood at the edges of the ritual now pulse a dull green. When you're ready, step into the interior. I do not intend to send you unprepared, and if you must deal with banditry, even more so. Accept this as a forward payment and a boon, as I am placing my trust in you.
We are ready for what?
He's indicating to this.
Yeah, the actual ritual circle.
Okay.
Antonio will smile as you step inside, the incantations humming the dull green hues, distorting them around your form, almost caressing your skin in a warm and comforting embrace. His chanting raises as the edges of the circle begin to burn and singe the glyph beneath your feet, irradiating with light. And with a wave of warmth and refreshment, the spell settles into you.